Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Sports Talk. My name is Frankie Olivo. Excited for today's show. We got a great story for our valley, for the city of Brownsville. But first and foremost, we want to talk about what's been going on in our local area. Recently, yesterday, in fact, we had a tournament in San Antonio, the Alamo City Hoops Showdown of I-35, and our Los Fresnos Falcons traveled to go compete in this tournament. The Los Fresnos Falcons, who are led by Jerry Martinez, Roger Capetillo, also Alex, Dayton, Edson, Darius, and freshman JJ Salazar, attended the tournament and had a great turnout. We have a 6-time district champions who traveled to San Antonio, and it's a returning team. They went 1-2 in this tournament, but nonetheless, it was a great performance and great experience for our team. Coach Genaro Martinez led the way for them. In their first game, they played against Lake Travis. Lake Travis had a 6'8", 2021 prospect. Los Fresnos lost the game 54-36. Jerry Martinez scored 16 points in that game. The second game was a shootout. Was a very exciting matchup, and it went down to the wire. Los Fresnos Falcons, they beat the East Central 62-59. Jerry Martinez had 25 points. 25 points and the game winner. And I'd like to share that with our fans very quickly. Where is it? I'm gonna give you guys two views. Again, the second game was down to the wire. Jerry Martinez shoots a 3 with the clock expiring to get him the victory, 62-59. They lost their third game. Let me bring it up very quickly. They lost their third game to Bernie Champion, 58-49. And Jerry Martinez scored 32 points. 32 points in that game. Again, an amazing accomplishment. Even though we didn't get the results that we wanted, it was a great experience for our Los Fresnos Falcons. And it's a great way for them to get, to compete with one of the highest and better talent in the state of Texas. So congratulations to them. It was great experience for our boys. And again, they will be defending the district title in this upcoming season. So the best of luck to the Los Fresnos Falcons, Coach Hinojosa and his program. And also would like to congratulate Genaro Martinez, Coach Genaro Martinez, for a great turnout in this past tournament. Now, for our featured story, we are having our very own Brownsville, Texas native, Isaiah Torres, with us today. How's it going, Mr. Torres? Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. First and foremost, the reason why we invited you for today, because Brownsville Talk likes to showcase our local talent and wants our community to be informed with the amazing student athletes that we have in our city of Brownsville. And we think very highly of you. We just heard
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We just heard about an amazing gig that you just obtained. Again, thank you so much for accepting this invitation, sir.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
First and foremost, please introduce yourself to our community.
So, like you said, my name's Isaiah Torres. I'm from Brownsville, Texas. I went to Brownsville Veterans. I graduated there in 2015. And there I played basketball. I played baseball for a little bit, ran track and cross country for a couple years. And then after that, I decided to go to UT. I just graduated from Austin this past May with a double major in applied movement science and sports management. While I was there, I was also able to work for the men's basketball team as a manager for 2 years. And like you said, now I'm a graduate assistant at University of Texas Permian Basin for the men's basketball team here.
Awesome. And you just heard about the Los Fresnos Falcons and
Mhm.
traveling to San Antonio for travel ball. Tell us your experience at Veterans playing either summer ball or travel ball, and tell us the importance it is for a team to travel and compete
Mhm.
with other better teams.
Exactly. So, like you said, competing against better teams only makes you better, no matter the outcome of the game in the summer. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because what happens in between November and March in the regular season, that's what really counts. So all you're doing is building experience, getting better chemistry with your teammates, and honestly just making great memories. Some of my favorite memories playing basketball all happened in the summer, whether it was in middle school playing with my travel team or in high school when I used to just purely travel with my high school with the veterans team. Those were always some of the best times, was spending time at the hotel with the guys, the long road trips to San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, stuff like that, and just playing basketball every weekend.
What's your take? And you just talk about
Mhm.
chemistry. You just talked about chemistry. How is it important for a team to bond, to go through
Mhm.
those tough upsets for the upcoming season?
Yeah, so going through adversity, I think builds a lot of character. You always have to find a way to get past hard, whatever that may be. And there's always going to be a lot of ways that you can do that. So just by going through things with your teammates, you realize what guys need in certain points. You realize like if a guy's having a bad game, like does he want you to go up to him and talk to him, or does he want you to just leave him alone? You know what I mean? So just things like that. You find a way to get guys going when they're struggling. Like, okay, I know this is his shot, so let me try to get him in position to get this. And just small things like that people don't really think about or don't think that matter. It really matters a lot, and you really find that out through traveling, through spending time more off the court than on the court, and just really learning what guys are like.
I've heard from from concerned parents of saying, "Oh, too much basketball, it's wear and tear on their body," and I'm sure you've heard it as well.
Uh-huh.
What's the feeling like of going through that grind?
Mhm.
Is it something that is necessary for young athletes to go through, in your opinion?
I don't think it's completely necessary, but I do think it. I feel like traveling, you're fine as long as you take care of you do play a lot of games in a short amount of time, right? Some weekends you may play up to 5, 6 games, and that can put a lot of stress on your body. But at the same time, if you're doing what you need to during the week, you know what I mean, taking appropriate recovery, even between games and stuff like that, I feel like your body is okay. Especially when you're younger, your body can withstand a lot more. So you don't want to put too much pressure on it because it could cause injuries later on in your career, just in life and stuff like that. But I don't feel like it's that big of a deal, playing so many games throughout the summers.
Awesome. Well, as you know, we're going through this COVID-19
Hmm.
pandemic. BISD recently announced that fall sports would be returning October the 5th. We have football, we have volleyball, and we have cross country.
Hmm.
I've heard from our student athletes, our seniors in particular, Isaiah, how they've been so adamant of having a football season. We have
Hmm.
seen how La Jolla ISD canceled, and Rio Hondo, as of right now, canceled their season for fall sports. Talk to us a little bit about your opinion on the COVID crisis that we're dealing with, and what it means for a senior,
Hmm.
wanting to play for this upcoming year.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a former student athlete, former high school athlete, I can only imagine being a senior and them telling me like I couldn't play. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'd handle it. I'd probably go somewhere else where I could play or do anything that I could, to be able to play a season. I understand some of the decisions that people are making, but at the same time, I think we've seen how sports can go on and it be successful, and you're not doing anything to, increase the curve or anything like that. Like athletes can still be safe while still participating in their sport. It happens more. So I feel like the being safe happens more at practice, because that's when you're closer for a longer amount of period. Games, you come in contact and you leave, come in contact and you leave. So there's a little bit less of a spread there. But I think sports have shown, and the NBA isn't really a good example because they're in a bubble, so it's purely isolated peoples. But I mean, the NFL has shown some success, and they haven't. They just came out today that they had 0 positives after week 1, and those people are traveling. They're out in the community, stuff like that. Even college sports, college football has been able to be successful, and they're traveling as well. Those students are regular students that go to class every day, interact with other people every day. But if you're maintaining the social distancing guidelines, wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart at all other times, I feel like you can have a successful season. And I'm really excited. My dad coaches volleyball at Brownsville Veterans. My sister plays basketball. She did volleyball last year. I'm sure that, I'm really excited for them to get back to what is their normal. High school kids, sports provide a great outlet for a lot of people. Just time to enjoy time with your friends and be able to do something you love with them. And not being able to play would be really tough on me. So I know it's tough on a lot of other people.
Awesome. Your father is a basketball coach, and I believe he was your basketball coach. Please tell us about your experience playing for your father. Was it easy for him, in your opinion? Was it easy for him to be a coach and not be a father at the same time?
I don't know. I think it was harder for him than it was for me, to be completely honest with you. Like I kind of saw it, but for him, because he's the one who made, him and Coach Gibson will both, make decisions on what to do moving forward, like as a team. But I know from him, like as a father, he probably wanted some things different for me at times. But for me, like I was always able to distinguish because he had been my coach growing up. So he coached me in youth basketball from like when we played in the Midnight League, the Brownsville League, and all that stuff. So it wasn't really that difficult for me to, this is when he's my father, this is when he's my coach, because he's also my teacher. So, I kind of got him in all three ways in high school. But no, it wasn't really hard for me, but I think it was pretty difficult for him at times.
Well, I'm sure you guys bonded, made awesome memories. And again, I can only imagine how proud he is of coaching you and seeing you right now, of all the great things that you're doing. We start off the show and you mentioned that you graduated from UT. What was your experience like at the University of Texas in Austin, and how did you become a manager on the basketball team?
Yeah, so first it was a great experience. I loved every single day. I loved going in, just being a part of a great team, with great coaching staffs, great players and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it day to day. The way I got into it, so I took 5 years to do my undergrad degree. So going into my first senior year, I guess, I knew a guy who was a manager on the team. And so I kind of, would talk to him, like asking him how he got that and, what I could do, like who should I be in contact with and all that stuff. And so he kind of helped me out there. But then I also had a different manager for a class. And so I kind of talked to him a lot as well. And I had a couple players for a class. So I had a Kerwin Roach, who I had met previously, and I happened to have him for that class. And so Kerwin and then my friend Gunner kind of helped me out getting into contact with my former boss, the equipment manager at Texas, who's in charge of the managers. Emailed him, got an interview. It went well, obviously. Went to a couple of practices to see how I like it. I mean, I loved it from the second I walked in there, so that was never going to be a problem. And that's kind of how I got on staff there at Texas.
So this wasn't something that you had planned. This was something that you had friends in the classroom. You knew another manager, and you kind of said, "Hey, is there a possibility? Is that so?"
So I mean, yeah. So when I went in, I didn't think. So when I first went into college, I wanted to be an athletic trainer. That was my goal. And then after my first year, I was like, you know what, maybe I want to do more something. Maybe I want to go business. So I took a couple business classes, and I was like, I don't think this is it. I really need to get back in sports. So I wanted to go back, and then coaching was always something I wanted to do. So something that I knew I wanted to do, but I thought to myself, I'm here at Texas. Why don't I try to do something more? Why don't I try to get to the highest level I possibly can while I'm here? And at that time was being a manager. So that's kind of how I reached out to the other managers and stuff like that. So it was something that I kind of want to do. I just wasn't sure how to go about it. And I was a little timid, like, should I do it? Should I not? But then I was like, like I need to do this. Something I need to do.
talk to us about Coach Smart. What is he like as a person? I've heard nothing but great things about Coach Smart. Talk to us about his demeanor, his approach to basketball, but more than anything, him preparing his program for the upcoming season.
Yeah, so he's a great person. Everything you said is everything you've heard is definitely true. He's very approachable, no matter who you are. Me being a manager, I'll go up to him a lot and talk to him. Players, his office door is always open, so there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to Coach Smart. He treats everyone with respect. One of his big things is relationships. That's he has relationships, growth, and victory. Those are his three main pillars. And so he's really big on relationships, building bonds with not only the people on the staff, but also players, even managers and stuff like that. And so he's really is a great guy. Preparation wise, his attention to detail is crazy to me. His thing is simple, but with crazy execution of detail. And that was very true. You saw that a lot of practice, just little things that most people wouldn't pick up on. He'd notice and he'd tell the guys, we need to do this because of this. And so, and then he's always in the office as well. He's always there watching film, preparing guys for, the upcoming season. And so I know right now he's doing a lot in order to get them ready for whenever their season may come. I know they announced, I think, November 25th they can start now. So I know he's getting them ready for that, getting them excited for the upcoming season.
It could be X's and O's, or it could be just the way he carries himself. What have you learned from Coach Smart that you will transition into your role as a graduate assistant?
So I think what I learned kind of goes to both. It could be on court and it could also be off the court. Is he'd always say you need to find a way to get past hard, whatever that may be. And that was just more of a life thing, but he applied it a lot to on the court stuff as well. Whenever something's not going your way, whenever you're not making shots, you need to find a way to get past that and do something that can affect the game in a positive way. And so from a coaching standpoint, I feel like you can do that too. Whether you feel like your game plan is not working, you'll be able to get past that and adjust moving forward. Or in life, when you feel like something's not going your way, you'll be able to get past hard and get through that adversity in order to succeed.
What is your fondest memory of either UT as a student or UT as a manager? What is something that you will always carry with you and want to either share that with your players or even with your children in the future?
Yeah, so as a regular student, it was definitely going to the football games there at DKR. Those were great experience every time. No matter what the season was looking like for us, it was always a packed stadium, and it was those games are always a lot of fun. And just watching other sporting events, I'd go to some of the baseball games, some softball games, some of the soccer games and stuff like that. So those were always a lot of fun. As a manager, I think traveling was really fun, because we fly private planes all the time, chartered flights. And once you get there, you're in 4 or 5 star hotels, and those are really nice. And just being able to see different parts of the country and seeing other people's arenas and stuff like that, and just being in that away team atmosphere, I always love that. But so my favorite game was actually this past season. We were playing at OU. It was a big game. We really needed a win. And our point at Coleman hit a buzzer beater bang 3 to win us the game as time expired. And that was crazy, because the whole game they were on us all night yelling at us, and then finally hearing them silence them, it was a great experience.
And that was at OU.
At OU, correct? Oh. Yeah. So it was even better. So you can imagine how upset they were.
Bittersweet, huh?
Yeah.
Now, how did this position of graduate assistant at the University of Permian Basin, how did that come about? We heard previously how it was destiny, how it just so happened that the manager role kind of fell into your lap. Tell us about this position as a graduate assistant. How did that come about?
So this past season is when I really realized that I wanted to be a graduate assistant. I was trying to reach out to a bunch of different schools and stuff like that, and I was making good connections with some people. But then when COVID hit, it kind of, it affected everybody, and the sports industry got affected as well. There's a lot of schools now that are still on hiring freezes. Budget cuts are happening, so that kind of affected some of my plans of where I wanted to go. But I was still reaching out, and then I got in deep contacts with DePaul, and I made their final interviews. I ended up not getting that job, but their video coordinator knew an assistant coach here. And then I guess the assistant coach here had reached out to him, seeing if he knew anybody or if they were interviewing anybody that he thought would be a good fit for them here. And it just so happened that the week I found out that I didn't get a job at DePaul, UTPB found out that they could hire a graduate assistant. So it was kind of like destiny again, I guess. So the coach from here reached out to me, asking me if I was interested, and I said, of course. Like, I mean, so I accepted the job probably around like August 15th ish, and I was here by like August 23rd, 24th. So it was quick. Yeah, it was a quick turnaround.
What will be your role with the basketball program? Are you going to be assigned defense? Are you going to be assigned? Tell us about your role for this upcoming year.
So we don't really have like an offensive, defensive coach or anything like that. We all kind of chip in, you know, no matter what it is. So my role would probably be more like on court, like still helping out, because so we have 2 assistants on staff, a head coach, myself, and then we just hired a manager as well. So we all kind of do everything, you know what I mean? We all kind of help out, you know, rebounding extra when the guys want to shoot, just being there at every practice. Maybe you have to throw yourself in some drills at times and stuff like that. But also we have our daily coaching meetings, and then that's where we talk about moving forward, what we want to do offensively, defensively, and so just kind of helping out in all aspects of that really is my role here.
Tell us about your upcoming season. What are the expectations for the program? And tell us a little bit about your offense. You know, is it a high tempo? Is it a you know, pass the ball a lot more? You can explain a little bit on that.
Yeah, so we have high expectations here. You know, we expect to compete and win conference championships and then make the national tournament every year that we're here. We got a couple of Division I transfers in this year that are really going to help our team. We also have a lot of new freshmen, I think, that can make a huge impact early for us. So we're really excited, you know, about all them. We just found out that we could play starting November 25th. So we have an exhibition against UTEP. I believe that's Thanksgiving weekend. And then we're trying to figure out where we can fit in 2 more exhibition games for us. And then as of now, our regular season, we're only playing conference games. So that'll begin New Year's Eve, December 31st is when our first game is expected to be played. So we'll see. But as far as offense, yeah, we like to play high tempo, move the ball, push the ball a lot, score first 7 seconds of the shot clock, run up and down, shoot a lot of threes, defensively, pick up full court when we can, deny passes, stuff like that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun and exciting to watch.
Awesome. And what's the and I know you've only been there for maybe about going on a month now, but with your time right now with the team, with all this COVID, I know it's been hard to get everybody together, you know, in one building. But what have you seen so far in regards to chemistry of the team for this upcoming year?
So I think our chemistry is really good. Like you said, so we haven't been able to have a full team practice yet. Right now, our team is cut in half. We have 8 guys going at once, then we have 8 guys going again, just so we can make sure everyone's, you know, spread out 6 feet apart, maintaining social distancing and all that stuff. So we haven't had a full team practice yet, but I think our guys are getting along really well. They all live together, you know, 4 to a unit, 4 in the dorms, 4 in the apartment, stuff like that. So you spend time with guys off the court as well, which I think is a big thing in building team chemistry. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, with, you know, like traveling and stuff like that. So just spending all that time off the court really helps. But I think our team chemistry is really well. We have a lot of guys who are bought in currently to what we're doing. We have great leadership from people who have been there before. Even, you know, our D1 transfers, even though some of them it's their first year here, they do a great job of like showing the younger guys what's expected and what you should be doing if you want to win.
Awesome. What are the lessons that you learned from your father? You said that you know, he was your teacher, he was your coach. What lessons did you learn from him at Veterans? And do you guys talk on a regular basis? And does he, you know, give you some advice on things you should expect or incorporate into your role?
So I think one of the biggest things I learned from was that every day presents a new challenge. Like, you know, every season, nothing's the same as the season before. Nothing's the same as the week before. Nothing's the same as the game before. So every day, every moment presents a new challenge, and you have to find a way to get past that challenge. And no matter if you start off 1-0 in district, 0-1 in district, you can never get too high, too low, because you just never know what the next game, what the next week, what the rest of the season is going to bring. So always you could be proud of your accomplishments, and you can be upset that you didn't succeed at certain things, but you should never be too high or too low on yourself, and you just got to keep moving forward. And that was one thing that I think that I always take with me, coaching and just like in general. And as far as like going back and forth, we don't. He'll ask me about stuff that I see, and then I'll ask him too. Like over quarantine, I was drawing up plays and stuff like that, and I would ask him what he thought, and we kind of go back and forth a little bit on just some basketball stuff like that, or we'll talk about some of the games. During the college season, he'll call me a lot, and we'd talk a lot about the college basketball games. I'd ask him how he was doing, how the girls were doing this past season, how my sister was playing, and stuff like that. So we do talk regularly about basketball.
What are the challenges that you have faced so far as a manager and in your short time as an assistant coach?
I think it's, like I've said before, like you just don't know what the next day is going to bring. Sometimes you just, out of nowhere, you're hit with something and you just have to do it. You know what I mean? You just have to take it on. And sometimes you get blamed for things that aren't necessarily your fault, but you have to have a turtle shell on your back and just keep moving forward. But always being on your toes, always, not thinking you're above anything at all. Those are some of the challenges I face. And that's something that I think is really important for a lot of people to go through, because you just never know what position you're going to be put in. You just have to be ready to keep going.
I know it's early in the season, but tell us a little bit about the day in the life. What's it like when you wake up? What's it like throughout the day? And what time do you shut it down?
Okay, so our team works. So we have team weights and team workouts that happen in the mornings. We don't have to be present at all of them, but sometimes we are there, and that's usually around 8 in the morning. So I'll be there for that. And then after that, I'm in the office most of the days, either doing Photoshop work, meeting with coaches, viewing kids, scouting kids and stuff like that, seeing who we could bring on possibly for, start talking to them this school year and see who we could bring on for next year's team, and just talking about what we want to do, at practice that day, what we want to focus on, stuff like that. And so we usually start our workouts we have the gym between 1 and 4. So we usually go somewhere between 2:30 and 4 right now, keep it light so they're not overtired by the time the season comes. And then after that, we might meet again as a coaching staff. If not, guys will stay to get extra shots up after practice. And so I'll stay and rebound for that. And then after that, I go home. I do my own homework because, I am in graduate school here. So I do have some schoolwork I got to do. It's not just all basketball over here. And then, yeah, that's it. So I usually shut it down. I try to go to sleep early, not very successful a lot of times. But, yeah, so around 11 o'clock, and then that's when, wake up and do it all over again the next day.
You talked about team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on a coach bonding with the players? Is that something that, in your opinion, is important for coaches to build that rapport with their players off the court?
I think it's important just because players see you as more approachable. That if they have concerns or they're not really sure about understanding of something, they know they can go up to you and they can trust you because you've bonded, because they know who you are as a person and not just as a coach. Sometimes, coaches can be intimidating because you only see them in that one aspect and you're afraid to make mistakes. You're afraid to ask questions if you're unsure and stuff like that. So bonding with players off the court, I think, is like very important. And my coach here, Coach Newman, is very big on that. He's very big on team chemistry. So that's something I've learned a lot here as well, that I also learned from Coach Moore.
We have with us Mr. Torres, Mr. Marco Hinojosa, the 6-time champion from Los Fresnos.
Yeah.
And, Coach Marco Hinojosa has a great program. So congratulations, Coach. You have something very, very successful at Los Fresnos. We were previously talking about the Los Fresnos Falcons team that traveled to the Alamo City tournament. So wishing you much success, Coach, in this upcoming season. And hey, if you got any advice for Coach Torres, feel free to reach out to him.
Yeah, so playing Los Fresnos, that was always a tough game. Something that you always put on your schedule, you always marked on your calendar because they were a tough team. And playing in Los Fresnos was always a tough environment to play in also. And Coach Hinojosa, he was my coach for the senior year, the All-Star game. I think it was the RGV BCA one. And so that was a great time. And that's when I really learned what it was like to play for Coach Hinojosa, and I understand why the guys play so hard for him now, just because he's a great person on and off the court.
I agree. Great individual, you know, awesome coach, but even a better person. Coach Torres, what motivates you in life?
So there's a couple of things. My family is definitely a big motivation. You know, they were always there for me growing up. My sisters were always at all my games. My parents were always at all my games. My grandparents, you know, anybody who could make it, they were always there. And so they're really definitely something that they're a reason that I want to make it in life, just so I can give back to them and thank them so much for everything they've been through and for everything that they've pushed me to become, and showing them that they're not just wasting their time on me doing that stuff. Another one is just, you know, myself wanting to see how far I can make it, you know what I mean? And just keep pushing myself and showing people from Brownsville that you can make it. Don't let people say just because you're from the Valley, you can't make it. You know, we have some great athletes from the Valley. We have great coaches. We have great people from the Valley who are doing big things. So there's no reason that you can't be one of those people as well. And then also, like, a fear of failure is another thing that motivates me. I just don't want to look at myself one day and think that I failed, or, you know, stuff like that. Just wanting to be the best version of myself that I can be is another thing that keeps me going.
You talked about family, talked about your parents being one of your biggest motivators in life. Tell us about the role family have on an athlete, because as we know, you know, parents sacrifice a lot, you know, on travel ball, on you know, on uniforms, on sneakers aren't cheap.
Yeah,
brother.
they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
So tell us a little bit about the importance parents, family have on an athlete's life.
I think family plays a huge role. You know, the more people you have in your circle, the more people you have pushing you, you can actually trust and know that they have the genuine best interest for you. I think the better you're going to do, the more you are going to succeed. And so family has just a huge impact on a daily basis. You know, there are always people that are going to support you even when you fail at anything, when you miss a shot and stuff like that. You know, they may be a little hard on you, but they're also going to be there for you when you really need it. And so I feel like everyone needs some sort of family in their life. And then also that family lets you know how to get along with your on-court family, you know, because those are your brothers, the people you play with, the coaches that you're coaching with, stuff like that. And so there's two different versions of family, but you need some sort of support system to keep pushing you and to be there for you at all times, I believe.
Awesome. You've had an amazing success in a short amount of time. Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years from now, either professionally or in your personal life?
So professionally, I'd hope to. So after this, so my graduate assistantship here it's 2 years. So it's this season and next season. And after that, I hope to, you know, either become an assistant coach, still at the D2 level, or maybe going back to the D1 level and becoming a director of operations or a video coordinator or anything like that, just to get on staff somewhere. And then in 10 years, I'd like to be an assistant coach or a head basketball coach at the collegiate level somewhere. You know, running my own program, I think, is something that I've always wanted to do. I always thought it was going to be high school, but once I got to college, I fell in love with the college game, and I really enjoy it a lot. And so it's something that I definitely want to do, or even, like I said, like being a top assistant, I think is something that I could see myself being in 10 years from now.
What about your personal life? And I know, and you could probably attest to this, being a coach, it's a lot of sacrifice away from the family. Do you, and don't answer if you don't want to, and I may be putting you on the spot, but do you want to focus on your professional career as a coach before you start a family? Have you given this thought?
So not a crazy amount of thought, but I mean, I've definitely thought about it a little bit, and I think I want to just work on myself first. So just focus on myself, and then whatever comes into my life or whatever, you know, is presented my way, then I'll just go with it from there. But I feel like just doing what I want to do is the best way to make me happy, especially right now. And then, like I said, if anything comes into my life, just seeing it, taking it as it is, and just keep going with it. But that's pretty much it.
Awesome. NBA, we have the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. Give us your picks, Lakers or Nuggets, and why?
So I'm a huge LeBron fan. I've always been a huge LeBron fan growing up. So I'm definitely going. I'm all out for the Lakers. I think they're going to sweep the Nuggets game 2 tonight. So that's my take for the day. But no, I think the Lakers. I'm definitely picking the Lakers to win it all and to win the series because of LeBron.
Boston or Miami, and why?
So I'm gonna go with Miami for this one. I think this is gonna be a close series though, especially after the way seeing the way Boston played yesterday. I think this series can go to 6 or 7. I think it will. But I still see Miami taking it. LeBron played in Miami, so I have a little ties to Miami. But also growing up, I was a huge Dwayne Wade fan. You know, when they called him Flash, when he wore the Band-Aid under his eye, we know he had all the MV3 chants going. So I was really a big fan of Dwayne Wade also.
So Lakers, Miami, and you have Lakers beating Miami.
Lakers.
Are you willing to say it in how many games?
I'll say 6. I'll give Miami 2 games just because I think they play so hard they're not gonna go down without a fight. So they'll get some there.
So it should be a great finals matchup in your opinion.
It should be. I think so too. And I think the storyline that's gonna be created, you know, it being in the bubble, it being Lakers versus Miami, it being LeBron versus his former team where he won 2 championships. I think all that is just really it's really adding up, and it's going to be a great interesting series and see how it goes. You know, no fans in the bubble has definitely affected a lot of the games and stuff like that. So we'll see how the rest of the season plays out.
Awesome. Final question, Mr. Torres. You have, as of right now, you have seen it all. You have played high school ball at a competitive level. You have seen it firsthand at Division I at UT, and have seen the best of the best in this country. Now you will be a graduate assistant for UT Permian Basin. What's your message to the athletes in high school that want to continue their career in athletics in college? What's your message to them?
So first, I personally believe there's definitely a school for everybody. You know, just don't get caught up in the hype or the name of any school, no matter what division it is, no matter what level it is. Just being able to play past high school is a blessing, because not many people get to do it. And so don't be afraid to go to a school, because even if you don't like it, that coach knows other coaches. If you feel like you're too good for that school and you perform really well at that school, they can find you somewhere. And most coaches do have your best interest, you know, at heart, and they would push you to go somewhere better if they thought that you should. So don't be afraid to play anywhere, whether it's a junior college, NAIA, NCAA Division III, Division II, it doesn't matter. Second would be get your name out there as much as possible. I know traveling's very expensive, but, you know, maybe if you only go to 1 or 2 things a year, make them. I feel like showcases are really important. You know, don't get lost in big summer tournaments, because there are a lot of people there. And it is easy to get lost, but in a showcase, you know, it's smaller environment. They're usually recording all your games that you play for you. They're sending your film out to other coaches. They invite coaches, letting them know that the showcase is going on, so coaches are aware that, you know, that you are playing, or people are playing in that weekend and stuff like that. I was actually just at a showcase in Houston 2 weeks ago. And so we went to go see some of the players in Houston, and then those things are really cool. There was about 45 players there, and it was just it was something good, because you got to see everybody. It wasn't, you know, and they give you a list of people who are participating, so you know who everyone's name is and stuff like that. So definitely get to as many showcases, get your film out as much as possible and stuff like that. But don't give up. I mean, even out of high school, you have no offers, train somewhere for a year. I know a lot of people have been doing that too. Like they take a year off of school, they work on their game, whatever it is, and then from there they send out more film, they attend more showcases, their postgraduate opportunities a lot of places. So I think don't give up if it's something you really want to do. Get your name out there, and then I truly do believe that there's a school that'll take you.
Awesome. Any special shots out, Mr. Torres?
Just my family. I know they're watching. I've been seeing them comment this whole time, so thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
Again, thank you so much, Mr. Torres, for accepting the invitation. I just want you to know that, you know, your family at Veterans, your Gomez Torres family, and your family at City of Brownsville and Sports Talk are rooting for you, man. We hear nothing but great things about you. We are excited to see what your future holds, and maybe down the future, if you're not too busy during the season, maybe we can set something up where you can come back.
Of course, yeah.
Let us know how's it going.
Yeah, no, I'd love to be back. But I thank you for having me on the show in the first place. Thank you. But yeah, definitely down the line during our season, I'd love to be back on.
Again, I thank you so much for accepting this invitation. It's a great way for our community to know the amazing talent that we have for the city of Brownsville. And, you're doing great things, man. And thank you for putting Brownsville on the map over there in Odessa, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show once again.
You have a good day, man.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Awesome interview. Awesome young man. Excited for his upcoming season. We wish him nothing but the best. Just based on speaking with him, we know that he is bound for greatness. He is bound to do great things. So once again, Isaiah Torres, thank you so much for accepting the invitation. We expect nothing but the best from you, sir, and hopefully down the future we can set it up sometime once again. How's it going, Dario?
Yo, what's up, Frank? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone has a blessed Sunday. Football's back, week 2, NBA playoffs. You know how it is.
Very, very quickly, what's your take on the basketball season right now so far? We have Lakers and Nuggets. What's your take on game 1?
Game
Lakers,
1,
Nuggets.
Lakers Nuggets. I don't know if I said it last week, but I got Lakers in 5. The thing with the Nuggets is, they're playing some excellent basketball right now, but LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they're grown men. The guys in Denver, they're just boys right now. They're boys balling. But LeBron James, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, they're grown-ass men, dude. And I think they're just going to school them. I got Lakers in 5.
You're not giving no respect to the Nuggets who had 2 3-1 comebacks to win game 7. No respect, Dario? you gotta give them at least a game 6, no?
No, I mean, I'm being friendly with Lakers in 5. I really think they're gonna sweep them, dude.
Nice. So tonight's matchup, do you have another blowout, Lakers Nuggets, or do you have it a little bit more competitive?
I think the same thing's gonna happen. Rondo had, I think, 9 or 10 assists game 1. LeBron had his usual, 7, 8, 9 assists. Anthony Davis showed up. Dwight Howard came off huge off the bench with a couple big blocks. Denver just struggling to get to the rim. I know. The thing with the Clippers Nuggets, Kawhi didn't show up. PG-13 didn't show up. And I don't know if you remember Kawhi out there in San Antonio. He played in San Antonio. You can't build a team around Kawhi. In San Antonio, they already had the chemistry with Duncan, Ginobili, Parker. They already had that chemistry for playing for how long? And then in Toronto, they already had that team chemistry for the last 4 or 5 years. They're always right there in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Clippers, they try to build a team around them. And they were playing it with Harrell and the Morris brother and PG-13 talking shit on Twitter. They kind of had a different mentality than a quiet Kawhi. So that maybe they didn't play good ball, but it could have been maybe a little bit more than just they didn't click.
So the spread for tonight at 6:30, Nuggets Lakers. The Lakers are favored to win by 7.5. Would you take the Lakers with that spread?
Yep.
What about Boston and Miami? Right now, Miami has a 2-1 lead against the Celtics. What's your take on the game last night?
The game last night, game 1 and game 2, if I'm not mistaken, the Celtics had the lead going into the 4th quarter or late into the 3rd quarter. The Celtics are having some, they just can't close them out. Game 2 at halftime was almost the same score as game 3. They're just having trouble closing it out. They leave guys open. They hit big shots. But the Celtics are good. I still have the Celtics in 7. The Heat, even though they got a bunch of young talent, I think Brad Stevens is going to rally his guys, and Brad Stevens is going to show, that it's going to, they're going to take this series. You got Lakers Boston finals.
Lakers Boston finals. Ramos has Boston in 7. So Ramos has the Lakers and Boston in the NBA finals. And again, historic matchup that would be. I disagree, Ramos. I have the Nuggets, and I'm only saying that because I have a bet going on with 2 of my friends. So I jumped on the Nuggets bandwagon. I have the Nuggets and I have Miami Heat. So we'll see how that goes for these series. But again, we have seen how LeBron James and AD have been pretty much taking over. I was expecting the Nuggets to come out firing. I don't know if maybe they have heavy legs based on coming back-to-back game 7s that they have to outperform. So, but again, I understand that LeBron James and AD are so talented that they can overcome a great shooting offense such as the Denver Nuggets. So I'm expecting a better game from the Nuggets today, and I would dare take the Nuggets, Darío. I'm gonna buy the half point though. So okay. I have the Nuggets +8 on this game tonight.
What would they have the over under line at?
The over under is 214.5. I'll take the over.
Okay. They're gonna go high flying. We're gonna see some high flying.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring offense. The Martinez family, Jerry has the Lakers in the finals. Burden, shout out Burden. Thanks for watching, guys. LeBron and AD got robbed on their awards this year. Oh, that good point. Darío, what's your take on Giannis winning the MVP?
Every year in the NBA, LeBron is up for MVP. For the last 10 years, it's always LeBron, or lately it's been Harden, and then now Giannis or CP3 or Westbrook. LeBron's always in that conversation. I don't think it takes anything away from LeBron that he doesn't win this MVP, because we know who LeBron is. He's maybe the greatest player of all time conversation. But Giannis, I would have liked to see Giannis take that extra step this season. But with all everything that happened, I think Giannis earned that back-to-back MVP and also Defensive Player of the Year. Only Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon ever did that, so that puts him in respectable company. Are we going to be talking about football, dude? Because it's week 2 in the NFL right now.
Of course, we're going to talk about football. This is only sports talk. But very quickly, I think Giannis did deserve the award. I just think that it means nothing without a title, in my opinion. So athletes can have all the accolades in the world, but if they don't get that ring that's so very important, or that Lombardi trophy, the O'Brien trophy, it doesn't really mean much. The Greek Freak is no MVP. He's at home. Hey, that's true. It only matters. Hey, Zaida, we'll be going into the big picks right now, Zaida. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Okay, Darío. Giants, Bears. The spread is Chicago -5.5. Who do you like? Who do you like in this game?
Line's at 5.5. I'm gonna take those points. Giants are struggling very badly. The Bears are coming off an 8-8 season, but they look solid last week. Saquon struggled very hard last week. He only had he might have had negative yards on a couple I got the Bears. I'll take the points. I got the Bears.
Same thing. The Giants, you could see that they do not have a very good team. They played the Steelers last week. performance from the Giants. I like the Bears, and I'll take the -5. I'm buying the half point, so Bears by 6.
Okay, to bring up last week,
-3. Deal?
Okay, just going back to last week, I was 10-6 on my picks. Just to get that on the record, I was 10-6. So. Falcons. I'm gonna take the Cowboys. If it stays at 3, give me those points. But if it goes to 3.5, I don't know. It's gonna be close. But the Cowboys, last season they were 1-8 in points in games decided by 8 points or less. So the Cowboys have 0 clutch right now. Hopefully McCarthy can turn things around. The Falcons picked up Gurley, so I think that we're gonna see some run the ball in this game today. Everybody knows what Zeke can do. Gurley, I think he just got rejuvenated getting sent to Atlanta. It's going to be a good game, but if it stays at 3, give me those points. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
I'll take the Cowboys as well. I'm hoping that the Cowboys win because I want to be out there at La Pitada this afternoon at 3. So I like the Cowboys. I don't agree with you. I think Gurley, we have seen how his knees are shot. He seems, for being a young back, I think he has a lot of wear and tear on those knees. So I'll be rooting for the Cowboys, and I like them -3. Zaida, we have your team, Packers Lions. Green Bay is favored to win by 6 at Lambeau Field. Dario, what's your take?
It's going to be a blowout. The Packer, Aaron Rodgers threw for like 4 touchdowns, 360 passing yards, tore it up. Lions, they're struggling. AP did have like 94 yards, something like that. Give me those points. It's going to be a blowout, Packers.
I have I'll agree with you. Packers with the win, and they'll easily cover the spread. Now the Jaguars, Dario, if you recall, they upset the Colts last week. The Tennessee Titans are favored to win by 7.5. I'll take the Jaguars plus 8. I think even though the Titans have a great defense, the Jaguars and Minshew, they have something going on here. So I'll take the Jaguars plus 8.
Okay, we're gonna give the Jaguars 8 points. I'll take I got the Titans winning the game, but give me those points on Jacksonville because that's a big spread. Minshew did have a decent game last. No picks, no sloppy plays. Kept it in with himself. But the reason I got the Titans beating the Jaguars is because the Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken, they got ranked like close to last in the for running defense last season, and we know Derrick Henry is almost unstoppable. So I think that the Titans, they're going to establish that run and it'll just open up a bunch of different options. But give me those points for the Jaguars, but I still got the Titans winning.
Awesome. Vikings Colts. Surprisingly, the Indianapolis Colts are favored to win by 3.5. I'll take the Vikings with the points. I'll buy that half a point. So I have the Vikings plus 4. Dario.
I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think that over-under, I think, is a little bit too high. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. The Vikings didn't look too good last week. I don't think they're going to play a lot better this week. I got the Colts. Give me those. I'll take the Colts. Give me those points. I'll still take the Colts. It might not be that. I'll take the under also, but I got the Colts win this one.
Okay, so we disagree on this one. I like the Vikings plus 4, and you'll take the Colts winning by 4. Next game, Bills Dolphins. Buffalo is favored to win by 5.5. I'll take Buffalo. They had a great performance last week. Their defense is looking very good. I like their offense. Their offense with that quarterback. Forget his name. The guy from Wyoming. Great quarterback. I'll take the Buffalo Bills covering the spread.
Same thing. I'm about to say the same thing. Allen looked real good. The quarterback Allen looked really good last week. He had his career high completions, career high yards. The Dolphins, yeah, the Dolphins. I think they're quote unquote rebuilding. But I'll take the points. Bills, the young head coach, and Allen. I want to take them.
Niners and Jets. The San Francisco 49ers are favored to win by a touchdown. Low scoring game, 41.5. I'll take the over. I'll take the over on this one, Dario. 41. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Niners will blow them out. So I'll take the over on this game.
I'll take the over too. Give me the points. I still got the 49ers. Any hope the Jets had on offense was gone when Le'Veon Bell got injured. He's on the injured reserve, so we may not see him for the rest of the season. Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the Jets, is struggling back there. I don't know if Gacy got to put up a more simple scheme or something, but he didn't look too well until that final drive where it was already garbage time and he kind of did something. But I got the 49ers this game. Give it the points.
Rams Eagles. Surprisingly, the Eagles are favored to win by 2. I'll take the Rams. The Rams winning this game.
I'm gonna take the Eagles with the points.
Wow.
The Eagles' offensive line is a little banged up. They're missing their right guard and right tackle, I think. But the Rams and I think Aaron Donald's going to take advantage of the backup offensive line. We'll see what they do. The Eagles did give up like 8 sacks against the Redskins, which doesn't really have an astounding pass rush. So the Eagles are already struggling. Then they got 2 injuries to put on top of that offensive line. Aaron Donald might have a big game, but I still got Carson Wentz pulling out with those points, with those 1.5.
Broncos Steelers. I have the Steelers, and I'll take the over on this one. 40.5. I'll take the over on this game. I like the Steelers winning. I think the Broncos will put up a good game, but I'll take the over points on this one.
The Steelers, the defense is good. I'm gonna take the Steelers, but give me those points for the Broncos. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than they're saying here. The Broncos, the Steelers have a great defense, but they don't have a great pass rush, and the Broncos don't allow a lot of sacks. And when you got a young quarterback, under center, you got to give him as much time. You got to let him find his footing a little bit, and that's what the Broncos are doing. They're protecting their quarterback. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than 6.5, but I still got the Steelers winning this one.
Panthers and Bucks. The Buccaneers, they had a sloppy performance week 1. I'll take the Panthers with the points +8.
Panthers with the points plus. Now, oh man, that's a tough one. That's a big line. I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be low scoring also. Maybe 20-17, 24-20, something like that. So I'll take the under. I got the Bucks winning the game, but give me those points with the Panthers. The Panthers have a new quarterback and a new head coach, but we'll see what they can do. The Bucks, yeah, you're totally right about that sloppy performance. Tom Brady had 2 interceptions. Not something we're accustomed to seeing Tom Brady do, throw a lot of interceptions. He had a pick 6. He was on his own like 25-30. You don't see that a lot from Tom Brady. I think it's because he's moving to it's that new team. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that from him. I think that's his first game back. I'm going to give Tom Brady, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say, that's just trim off the edges a little bit. It's his first game back. So I think the Bucks will be just fine, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to take the Bucks, but give me those points.
We got 2 minutes left, so very quickly for these next picks. Washington football team and Cardinals. I'll take Washington +8.
Washington. Now, give me those. Oh man, that's a tough one. Now it's going to be Give me those points. Cardinals win the games, but it's going to be within those points.
Okay. So you have the Cardinals covering the spread.
Cover the spread.
Chiefs, Chargers. I'll have the Chiefs covering easily.
Easily.
Next game, Ravens, Texans. Ravens covering the spread easily.
Easily, yeah. Take the over on that game too.
You'll take the over 49.5.
Absolutely.
I do anticipate it's going to be a high scoring game as well, but I feel safe with the Ravens covering. Game tonight, Patriots and Seahawks. I'll take the Seahawks -3.
Yeah, give me those points. It's good. I don't think it's going to be that close. Newton might have a big game, but Seattle I think they're going to be clicking on all cylinders. Give me those points. I'll take the over.
Final game, the Saints and the Raiders. New Orleans -5.5. I'll take the Raiders +6.
The Raiders. I forgot their rookie running back's name. He's pick him up on fantasy. Yeah, no, the rookie backup for the Raiders. You pick him up on fantasy. He's turned it up. I think he went undrafted also. Put that spread back up, please, Frankie.
Sure. It's -6.5, -5.5.
For who?
For New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah, the Raiders ran the ball well last week, but the Saints, in like 44 straight games or something crazy like that, 44, 45 straight games, they haven't allowed more than 100 rushing yards. So that's phenomenal. They got a great run defense, and the Raiders really rely on establishing that run to open up Carr. But it's going to be close. It's going to be a good primetime game, but I got the Saints. Give me those points. I like Drew Brees and the Saints, dude.
Awesome. Well, again, that's another episode of Sports Talk. Thank you once again to Isaiah Torres, a great individual who is now a graduate assistant at UT Permian Basin. And again, always a pleasure, Darío. I know everybody's in a rush to watch football. Kickoff is in like 2 minutes. So have a great week, guys. Happy Sunday. And Darío, see you next week, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Love you, man. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Get Mike on the show. You come on the show with me one day. Who's Mike, though? Bye, guys.